What's up, everyone? Joe Carroll here, excited to be with you guys today because I am working on a vocalist that is one of my favorite vocalists I think I've ever recorded. And her name is Gloria Anderson. We'll put her face up on the screen. She's a singer songwriter from here in Nashville, originally from Texas, but I think it was about a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, I did a video with Moog, the manufacturer's MAAG, for their new Pre-Q2. And as a promotion for that product, we recorded this track using her as the vocalist and some of her college friends to play the instruments. So it's a very organic country piece with her at the center of it. Drums played with brushes, upright bass, acoustic bass, piano, steel guitar, and acoustic guitar, and that's it. So it's a very bare bones, organic track, and it's a very kind of organic song. And to celebrate the fact we're doing country, I'm wearing my Johnny Cash shirt, even. Um, and so we're gonna have a good time. But let me give you a little taste of the track.
There's a house on the market in my old neighborhood with a fresh coat of paint and brand new hardwood. Bet there's pencil lines hiding on an old door frame that could tell you how tall I was when I turned it. There's a house on the market in my old neighborhood. Well, I didn't know I'd be more than the things you see.
So it's a fantastic song, very, very touching, very emotional. It paints quite a story, and that's one of my things about one of my favorite things about country music. But as you can hear on the recording, the raw tracks sound great, which is a testament to the musicianship as well as the Moog pre-Q. I don't want to forget, I don't want to gloss over the fact that most of the important elements were recorded with the Moog pre, which we have at the studio and is one of my favorites for vocalists all the time. However, they are not sponsoring this video, nothing like that. I just wanted I just wanted everyone to know. And now I actually released these tracks one other time with on a Produce Like a Pro channel, but I just kind of did a very quick mix breakdown. Today I want to start from the ground up and kind of build an organic mix, kind of as an extension of our Back to the Basics video series that have done really, really well. So thank you for watching those, commenting, subscribing, all of that stuff. Very much appreciated. But I kind of want to expand on that. And so when I hear this song, I kind of think Neve. I think warm. I think round. I think vintage. So let's just kind of dive in, and we'll see. We have drums. You have a kick in and out, snare top, bottom, a hat, a couple toms, overheads, rooms. We have our acoustic bass. We have a body mic and a neck mic. And we have an acoustic guitar in stereo, piano in stereo, and then a mono steel. And you can see that they've, some of them are very dynamic. Some of them aren't. The bass is pretty dynamic for an acoustic bass. But we probably honestly didn't use any compression when we tracked it, so everyone got to be able to hear the pre without, coloration from a lot of other things. So I remember recording it very, very raw, and I can see that that's what's going on here. When I look at this kick drum, I see, it's something that I experience a lot when I'm dealing with younger musicians that aren't studio professionals, and that is a lot of dynamics. So when we're trying to fit a song into two speakers in modern music production, we're trying to bring that dynamic range down to where it can be, kind of loud and punchy all the time. Not that we don't have dynamics and things like that, because we want that, but nonetheless, this is unacceptable. These kick drums you wouldn't even be able to hear. Some of these are just astonishingly loud. So of course we can use compression to try to rein that in. But one tool that I like when I see a drum that's this dynamics are this overdone, I like to bring up an audio suite. I have Drum Leveler. This is from Sound Radix. This is a really cool tool, and I'm going to show you what it will do. So I've got a couple little presets here. So JC Kick. So what we'll do is we'll hit. I've already done it. So, but you know what? I'm going to do it again just so you see it. Uh, uh, right there, you're looking at the dynamic range. Now we will process it. Bam. And you see a lot more consistent dynamic range. I mean, that may be too much, but probably not for modern music production. So before, after, before, after. Okay, so I'm going to do that same thing to my inside or my outside mic because it was equally overly dynamic. Now the snare, I'm probably not going to bother with. I mean, I could, if you want to see. In fact, let's just do so you can see. But it's that doesn't look as over the top to me. So, but anyway, I've got my snare setting imported. And you'll see that it does bring up a lot of the consistency of the backbeat.
Of a family that's perfect.
Let's mute, even though her vocal is one of the greatest things on the planet, let's go ahead and mute her for now and focus on just the band. And for the sake of doing it, I'm going to duplicate this and call it DL or drum leveler. And let's just see if this is too much or if this sounds great. Okay. Kind of like the idea of a little more consistent backbeat without compression. To me, it's like the acoustic guitar is kind of that and her. Of course, the drum backbeat and the kick and snare are kind of driving the show for me. So what I want to do is let's work on this acoustic guitar first. You see, he's playing, the song itself is fairly dynamic. So I'm going to go up here to where he's playing a little heavier. I mean, gosh, it sounds great, right? I mean, there's not a lot. We don't want to turn knobs just to turn knobs. So I've already got the EQ circuit on. I'm using, for the Neve console today, it's the Kit 105. Just so, I've used that in another video. I don't remember which one. Back to the Basics 2, maybe. But anyway, let's kind of see what the preamp gain sounds like, just in case we love it. I kind of like that little extra gas it's putting in the tank, so to speak. All right, let's turn the high pass filter up to 80, and let's boost a little 15, just see if we like it. And we can see if that little jangly 4K thing is good. Because the track is so dense, I don't think I hate that. Okay, now it needs some compression. It needs to be a little thicker sounding. The dynamics reined in a little bit. I'm going to use the 2254, the Neve diode bridge style. And it's already calibrated. If you follow me, you know that I have an academy called Mix Mentorship. It's a 12-week. Well, there's 12 weeks worth of lessons, and you can whether it takes you 12 weeks or whether it takes you a year to complete it. It doesn't matter. But I really focus on gain staging throughout that academy. And you'll notice when I turned the compressor on, it was already perfect, and that's part of gain staging the tools in the template and gain staging the waveforms consistently from mix to mix to mix to where you can activate a tool and it just happens. Okay, sounds great. Now let's kind of look in the piano. I know the drums are a lot of times what we start with, but I'm just kind of feeling some of the track elements right now. Okay, it's a little dark. I'm sure it's from the microphone choice. I probably had AKG 414s on there, the silver face ones, so just to make sure the piano wasn't overly bright. Because I knew what type of song we were recording that night. Yeah, see, more than cutting anything down low, I think I just want to add some articulation. Let's try some 10K. And you see my high pass filter is already coming in. Again, that's part of my template. When when I have various channel strips in the template, there's things that's already going to be in there, like high pass filters. Yeah, I like that. Now we could would we like that kind of that 6K, 7K hammer strike on a piano? Would we want more of that? Maybe just a touch. Let's see if we like the. We do already have a little bit of preamp gain, Neve transformer gain here happening, so the sound is already improved from the its raw state. Yeah, let's just start there. Now, what I think I might do is follow that with an LA3A style compressor. Okay, and what I'll do is once I get the amount of reduction set, which you see it came in already nearly perfect. Okay, it's just going to be kind of light touch like that. What I do on a piano is I love stereo tracks. I like one fader, but sometimes with compressors we want like a dual mono kind of thing. So in Pro Tools, you just click that right there, and you have a left and a right operating independently, which is super easy to do in any DAW. Now that just works so much better because the high notes that's coming out of the right speaker are, that's what's really triggering the compressor. So I could hear the pump in the low end when they were tied together. Now it's compressing the right more than the left, and the pump is kind of gone. I may brighten it up even a little more. Because there's a long instrumental out, where he plays a lot busier and he's kind of the featured guy. But let's go back in here into the body of the song. Yes, for me, it's just a little bright there. Now that I'm hearing everything combined, I kind of do feel like maybe there's a low end thing. Right there, right around, I think that's 390. Let's duck that just a little. Okay, let's work on the drums just a little bit, and you'll see all the tools that I'm going to use today. When I pulled up the track and listened to it, and I kind of predetermined what tools I would use before the camera started rolling just to save time. But you're going to see pretty much Neves everywhere, followed by possibly some, a little bit of EQ and compression just for flavor. Like on the drums, I have Pultecs ready to go if needed, but let's bypass them for now. Okay, that kick drum, it sounds good, but it needs quite a bit of help. Let's cut some low end stuff away, some low mids that are just kind of yuck. Kind of leaning towards that one. Add a little attack. I'll add just a little of this 56 cycles. And we can, let's do with and without. And I'm going to take the EQ out, and I'm going to test adding some mic pre-gain. See, you got this little switch right here, line level, where this is irrelevant. because it's line level, there's nothing to adjust, but you're getting nonetheless the coloration of that circuit on the console that adds up over a high track count. But when you really want to get busy, when you want to do some business, you switch it over to mic here. Let's try that. Now let's go to the outside mic. See if we want to feather that with it. Let's kind of see how they sound together before we ever touch the EQ. So it's really full down here. So we need a lot less of that to me. Let's use that blend right there with this guy at Unity and this guy down, oh gosh, it looks like 14 dB. So he's adding a little of that low end pad, but not a lot. Yeah, so it's, we're looking for a very organic, round thing. We're not trying to make this big and huge and punchy. Okay, the first thing I would do is just add some excitement, some impact, and some air. The 820, I don't love it. I'm going to dip it just a little. And before I do anything else, I'm going to bring the snare strainer, the bottom mic in there and see what we got. This guy he could use a little compression. Let's see how that sounds with the top. Now, in the Back to the Basics series, we have talked about parallel compression. So that's already set up here on a aux send. So I can send whatever elements of the kit in whatever ratios and blends that I want to the parallel compression, which is an 1176. And I think I want to do that because I want to kind of bring up the softer notes. He's playing with brushes, but you can hear he's playing ghost notes as well here and there. So let's just kind of see if this brings up some of that. Yeah. So I don't think we're going to use a noise gate today because I think we're going to try it. Sometimes we do because the backbeat is so much louder than the soft stuff. You have a normal stick struck snare drum. Say that 3 times fast. A stick struck snare drum. Anyway, and you can use the noise gate to knock down the bleed a little bit because you need to, because of what's going on with the hi-hat and the other elements of the kit that you need to filter out of there, and use this as kind of a way to make up just the ghost notes in a way that leaving that the ghost notes there in the bleed without using a gate, it doesn't do. It's hard to describe without just testing it out yourself, but nonetheless, it's a thing for sure. Let's work on the overheads. So sometimes he's playing the ride cymbal, sometimes he's playing a hi-hat. Yeah. Okay, I think one thing that I might do, I have a couple different saturators that I really like on drums. And one of them is the loop trotter here. And one is the little radiator. And I activated the wrong one. Here is the loop trotter. Bam. And what it does effectively for me is it pushes the snare drum back into the mix a little bit. Check it out. The softer elements of the kit are kind of brought up a little bit. And I think on this song, we're going to like that. I think we're going to like the ride cymbal and the ghost notes of the snare drum being a little more prominent. Now, the only thing I didn't use Neve on that I can remember is the piano. Because I wanted this fast attack compressor of the SSL. I think that's one of the best overhead compressors of all time. A little boxiness right there. Let's get out. And that may be the only thing we do other than this. We'll just try to flicker this light just a touch. And let's see how that's coming together with our close mics here. Yeah, I'm starting to hear more of all the subtleties. Even though he's playing the hi-hat, you can clearly hear it. There's a lot of brush work going on the snare drum in between those big hits that I kind of want to preserve, honestly. So let's check the hi-hat out though. Oh yeah, I had SSL on this too, something that's left over from my template, and also because of the fast attack compressor. But let's also get rid of a little bit of that cloudiness. Always look around 400. That was 450. On a hi-hat, always just automatically go to around 400 cycles on a close mic hi-hat, and you're going to find what it is that's offending you. 9 times out of 10 at least. I'm going to turn the auto gain off, and I'm going to boost this mic up. I can see that the cutting that I'm doing has really lowered the level. Okay, let's EQ the toms real quick and move on to another instrument, and we'll turn looping on right here. Right there, loop playback. Okay, I've got, when I use the Neve, as you can see, I have a little bit of that Neve transformer thing already added. I mean, so it's already doing a thing. But do we need more? You'll see that you can choose continuous here, or go in the 5-6 dB increments of the original. Yeah, I like that. All right, let's find what is nasty. Not liking that. Let's add some attack around it. Maybe a little air. Let's go up to 180 on this high-pitched tom and add just a touch of bottom end. Before and after. Okay, let's see if we like that. Let's do the same thing, because the main thing we're going to have to do is check it out with the overhead to make sure it sounds great in the overheads. Don't want to spend too long in solo or only check it in solo, but I like to start in solo, really hear what's going on with any specific drum or track, and then put it back into the bigger picture and make adjustments as necessary. Oh, I'm in the wrong knob. I'm trying to find the ugly, which is right here. Oh, that's really ugly. Let's see. Yeah. Am I? Yeah, let's just do that. And 100 cycles will add a little bottom end. Yeah, let's hear them back to back. One thing about drums played with you know what? Let's match the gain levels between the two. Yeah. Oh, that definitely changed the attack sound. We're gonna have to use less of that now. There we go. Now let's put it in with the overheads. Yeah, sounds great. Let's mute everything except the drums. Let's mute the room. That hi-hat is too high frequency rich. Let's roll a little off, going around 7K or so. Maybe that was a little too much, maybe. But I don't want it to get crispy. And we do have a room mic. We'll feather a little in there. I don't think I'm going to treat it at all. Whatever EQ and compression. Well, there wouldn't have been an EQ, but there may have been compression that evening. Probably a little 1178 Uri. The only thing I may do is use a high Q. That I may duck that out just a little. Okay, let's just start there. Now let's go to the acoustic bass and check it out. So here's the body and the neck. And the one thing you want to do when you're doing multiple mics on a bass guitar is check the phase, and yeah, we are good. Positive, positive, negative, negative. So we're getting the full tone that we need to get and deserve to get out of the guitar. So you'll see they're all each on their own track being subbed together to a single bass fader that I'm going to treat as a group, because even though these are two mics, I want to get them blended and then move forward as if it was one source. Want a little less of the neck. And then we'll look over here at this fader, and right here is analog 0, so I want to make sure I'm up in here. Yeah, see my peaks are coming up to around -12, -10, so my averages are going to be somewhere around unity. All right, so I may need just a little articulation. Don't know that I want it from the neck mic. I think I just want it from EQ, honestly. Somewhere right in there. We could, if we wanted to, we could use our high pass filter or low pass filter, because there's nothing up above 12K that we're going to want. We definitely do not want that high pass filter on there. Wherever I drug that from, that should not have been on. In fact, now it's making me think I want to tighten up the bottom end a little bit with multiband. And you'll see, like we talked about, gain staging matters. I just turned this on and it's already exactly right. So now let's talk about compression, because I know we can see that we need it and hear that we need it. Just making little adjustments along the way. Didn't like the high end of the snare drum. Okay, so a new tool that I just recently added to my collection is from Carrell, and it's the gate stay level, which I have down here in the rack, and then I have the Audioscape version up there. Fantastic, both of them fantastic pieces. I don't own the retro, but this is the retro version. But we can do modern or vintage here, so which is pretty cool. But when you think of bass guitar and a stay level, I mean that's one of the great matches for a stay level. But in as far as the recovery mode, think of single, and then the time, probably somewhere on this, the left hand side. Let's just kind of hear it in the track, hear the tempo. I don't hate that. Turn the backbeats of the snare down just a little bit. And something else we will do is we're going to take the virtual tape machine, VT, I've got that built in my template, just already ready to go. I'm going to turn them on for just a little more flavor, a little more rounding. Okay, now let's start adding in the acoustic and piano now. All right, let's check the compression on the drums. I think I might want to experiment with slowing the attack down to 10 milliseconds, or speeding it up rather. It was at 30 by default. Let's try 10. I like that a lot better. Okay, so in my template I had this already on, and I feel like the top end may be a little much. I'm going to reduce that 2 dB lift. I'm going to reduce that to 1 dB. I may want to actually bring on, made it inactive instead of unbypassing. I think I may actually want to bring on the Pultec on the snare, remove all the top frequency stuff, and work on 100 cycles here. That little bit of extra body. Just a little too much attack on these toms. I want to slow them back, not slow them back, but turn them back just a little bit, those boosts. Okay, now I can see, probably because of the absence of strong kicks and strong backbeats, my level that's going to my stereo bus is a little lower than normal. So I'm going to turn this up to about -1, which was 2 dB up on my subgroups here, and I'm going to hit my stereo bus a little harder. Now, let's kind of look at adding this steel guitar in. That's what makes it, well, it's country regardless of steel guitar, but that makes it even more country, right? Oh, okay. I had the SSL on this as well, and the reason is I love the channel strip compression on an SSL circuit on steel guitar quite a lot, and I can hear this happens on steel guitar a lot. These are young guys from college that are still kind of dialing in maybe the perfect tones and stuff. But even with established studio pros, sometimes I get overdriven. You know, the steel guitar you hear some harmonic where the amplifier is breaking up, and you'll hear it. So one thing sometimes that you have to do when you're sending well, first of all, either don't use saturation or check the flavor of saturation and the amount, because you can be making it worse. So let's make sure that we're not making it worse by running it through true iron here. So I still heard it. Yeah, I don't think we're making anything any worse, so let's just move forward, put this guy in the mix, and kind of hear how it's sounding on its own before we even touch it. I'm going to do a little upper mid push. So our acoustic guitar and our piano both, they're really shining like a 6K and above. So a lot of times the steel guitar, B3 organ, there are some of the instruments that we push an octave below that, more in the somewhere between 1 and 4K. Now let's do a soft. So in my template, 2-to-1 ratio, which is soft, 300 millisecond release, and let's just kind of put some action on him. See, it's taking a lot because of the low ratio. Fitting the mix a lot better. Let's get rid of a little more of the extreme low end. You'll see that I usually always low pass filter a steel guitar too. There's nothing at 12K that we want. Nothing. Now this is the place that I usually make up my mind about parallel compression on the band itself, not the drums, but the instrumentation. And you'll see I've already got it going. It's already in my template every day, but it's muted. But levels are already being sent to it, so it's already calibrated. Everything's already done for me. All I got to do is turn it on and check it out. Which of course these levels will seem a little hot now, but do we like the extra sustain and fullness that we're getting, or is it too much for this song? Thinking I like it. Let's check the piano ride down here. Yeah, I feel like the extra fullness, the extra layer of girth that we're getting of all that sustain, all that lower level information, is making the drums sound less punchy, and which is more appropriate for this song. So the backbeats were hitting kind of hard on the drums, and now by bringing up the subtleties of the piano, the acoustic guitar, the steel, it's like the drums aren't punching as hard now. I kind of like that. Let's hear it in a verse here. Where it's just the acoustic guitar. It sounds great. those string squeaks, I'm gonna leave them in there. I mean, that's organic. So now what I want to do is I want to get some compression going, and I've got the variable mu from Manley, which this is the UAD version. I also have the Pulsar version too. So there's two places you can get this flavor, but it's one of the best to me. There's kind of two main flavors of bus compressors. That's the VCA SSL thing and the variable mu, which could be the Manley variable mu, could be a Fairchild, something like that, where the tube, it's a tube circuit that's doing, the tube is actually doing the compression. It's not just a tube in the audio path, but the compression itself is being handled by a tube. So just an entirely different sound, very musical. And whereas in SSL, we may want to, very audibly be seeing 2 or 3 or, even more decibels worth of gain reduction, depending on, if you're using the subgroups here or if you're just using one stereo bus. That's going to be too heavy-handed for a variable mu. Going in that you're going to want to see about a decibel is all. But it's got this calming effect. The circuit, it just has this calming effect that I think would be really nice for this song. And I'm going to go ahead and put her vocal in, even though it's not treated, kind of where it belongs, just to see where I'm getting, what the VU is telling me. On the market in my old neighborhood, with fresh coat of paint and brand new hardwood. I like that. I like that quite a bit. Now, what I want to do is I kind of want to experiment with the curve bender. But I don't really know that we need any of it, to be honest. But you'll see, in my template, I've got a little preset that already comes up. I'm going to hear it with just the band since she's not really dialed in yet. Okay, I really do like the sound of the circuit itself. So this was only a half dB lift at 3K. I'm going to turn this one down to a half dB as well. I think it was at a full decibel. And I don't know if we need any of this low end. Maybe not. Let's just cut it back to a half a decibel. And I know those are extremely low values. But this plug-in, just like the original circuit, has a sound. And the way it affects the mid-range, just passing through it to me is quite, I hate to use the word astonishing, but it's just very apparent in the way that a lot of circuits don't automatically have an impact, but this guy does. I'm going to get rid of that little boost right there. I may just run the EQ almost flat, but just pass through the circuit. The other thing I may do is take this high pass filter up to 20, or the low pass rather. Okay, I'm going to turn that back on, but I'm going to go up to 16. I'm going to turn the parallel compression level of the piano and the acoustic down just a little bit, but leave the steel where it's at. I think it needs a little more control than these guys do. Now, the other thing we could do is put the EQ prior to the variable mu. And this way, the little top end thing that we're doing, which is very, very subtle, but nonetheless, it's being controlled by the very warm tube thing, which I think is what we want to do. That's why I leave that little gap here, because different songs, different styles, I like the stereo bus compressor pre or post, and I want to be able to move it around and check it out. Great, pretty happy. Let's go up to a chorus now where the drums are bigger and kind of set my limiter on maybe some of these fills. Make sure that we're just kind of setting a ceiling that is not affecting our stereo bus. gets really happy leading into a chorus, we just make sure that we're trimming that off just a little bit so that it's not triggering anything else negatively. Okay, so what I want to do is I'm going to take the parallel compression on the band, and I'm going to reduce it even more on the acoustic and the piano. It's just a little too dense now for me, tonality wise on the piano. But again, I'm leaving it on the steel. Now let's add some wetness, some moisturizer. This is a room. Okay, I like that, but let's try a plate. We don't want very much of anything because it's so organic. I think we kind of want it to be kind of maybe dry-ish, just a touch. Let's get it to a bigger part on the piano where he's playing a little more. And if you get into the parallel compression game on your instrument tracks, just know that if you're using parallel compression, you're going to be turning your levels up more than you're used to on the reverb sends because you know the amount you're getting this extra makeup gain right here, as well as the density. So you just have to run that hotter than you used to. Just know that going in. Let's do the steel. Use a little bit of this short thing for some stereo business. And I'm going to put a longer delay on it. Steels are traditionally very wet. I may use even a little hall. Let's hear it in the track. Still not happy with it. Maybe it's just a little too bright now. Could put a little reverb since we're really not using a room. We could. You know, just a little reverb on the snare if we wanted to in the tom. Let's just add it to the same thing to the toms. Now, let's work on the vocal real quick, and not too quick because she's an amazing singer and she needs and deserves all the attention we can give her. Let's check out maybe this first chorus here.
Well, I didn't know I'd be more than the things you see, and it wasn't easy in the beginning getting to know me.
I mean, how good is that? My gosh, it's like Dolly Parton type of purity, just stunning.
Well, I didn't know.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a little multi-band compression.
Well, I didn't know I'd be more than the things you see, and it wasn't.
You can hear it's pretty rangy. So da 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 da. You know, you hear some bottom end at moments, and she's really punching at other times. And that's something that multiband compression helps me kind of average those out a little bit before I ever have to start turning knobs on another EQ.
Well, I didn't know I'd be more than the things you see. And it wasn't easy in the beginning getting to know.
In fact, I'm going to turn the attack time up just a little bit on this upper band and trigger it just a touch.
Well, I didn't know I'd be more than the things you see. And it wasn't easy in the beginning getting to know me.
Let's hear what's doing in a verse.
There's a Bible on the shelf by a new pack of cigarettes.
Yeah.
There's a Bible on the shelf by a new pack of cigarettes.
Man, as far as EQ, I mean, I really almost don't need any. That was a Signal. It was a 47 clone from Signal Arts going into the Moog Pre.
There's a Bible on the shelf by a new...
And I can't remember if we used any LA2A compression while we were tracking it or not. I know we were trying to be really careful with coloring the circuit too much, but it may have a little LA2A on it as well.
There's a Bible on the shelf by a new...
But you'll see how much low-end subharmonic.
There's a Bible on the shelf by a new pack.
So we're definitely gonna roll that off. We don't need any of that.
There's a Bible on the shelf by a new pack of cigarettes.
So let's come up to about 130 or so with that little notch right there, and see if that's all we need. I don't know that we need to add any high end on a song like this.
There's a Bible on the shelf by a new pack of cigarettes. There's a photo on the fridge of a family that's perfect. But the wall full of crosses in the...
Okay, there's a couple things I want to do. You know, like I said, a new tool for me, this guy right here. And I want to go to double mode and turn the recovery time probably somewhere in the middle for now. And I kind of want to experiment with compressing with just this one compressor. You know, anybody that follows me knows a lot of times I use two, doing two different things and less heavy-handed on each one. But this song just has such a vibe. It kind of reminds me of a variable mute circuit, just hearing it.
There's a Bible on the shelf by a new pack of cigarettes. There's a photo on the fridge of a family that's perfect.
My goodness, that's good. Okay.
There's a Bible on the shelf by a new pack of cigarettes. There's a photo on the fridge.
This is something I've taught before on, I think, a vocal video I did on Produce Like a Pro. This mid-band tool, so think of it as a frequency-dependent compressor, kind of like a de-esser, really, except the way I use it is kind of in the mids. And I've got this little preset here, if you want to look at these settings. This is from Waves. It's the CS1, but it's specifically the sidechain version. And you can find, and will find on a lot of vocals, some kind of mid-range thing. It's a lot... That's a lot of her character, so I don't want to use very much of it, and I may not use any of it, but I want to audition it to see if it sets her in the track just a little bit better.
There's a Bible on the shelf by a new... There's a Bible on the shelf by a new... There's a Bible on the shelf by a new pack of cigarettes.
Kind of that 2K thing that builds up on a lot of singers, especially female singers.
There's a Bible on the shelf by a new...
So see that right there, just kind of kicking in just a little.
There's a Bible on the shelf by a new pack of cigarettes. There's a photo on the fridge of a family that's perfect. But the wall full of crosses in...
So it looks like I was probably getting, about 8 decibels of compression, at least what the VU meter is saying. Who knows what we're really getting.
There's a Bible on the shelf by a new pack of cigarettes. There's a photo on the fridge of a family.
So what we could do, we could either try staggering another compressor, because I probably wouldn't want to use this one, even though you can, a stay level, you can get sometimes insane amounts of compression and it still sounds sonically really good. But what I may try to do is parallel compression. It's already all gain stage. All I have to do is turn that send on at Unity and it'll just kind of come up.
There's a Bible on the shelf by a new pack of cigarettes. There's a photo on the fridge of a family that's...
Ooh, that's good. All the subtleties in her, the softer words, everything that we were losing, well, just a second ago, all of a sudden is coming up in our face a little bit.
There's a Bible on the shelf by a new pack of cigarette. There's a photo on the fridge of a family that's perfect, but the wall full of crosses in the dining room. They've heard every argument we got in.
Man, she is insanely good. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
There's a Bible on the shelf by a new. There's a Bible on the shelf by a new
I'm
pet.
going to put a touch of this really short one in there.
There's a Bible on the shelf by a new pack of cigarettes. There's a Bible on the shelf by a new pack of cigarettes.
So it's a delay, but it'll almost kind of serve that purpose of early reflections, placing her in a real room.
There's a Bible on the shelf by a new pack of cigarettes.
Now
There's a photo.
let's experiment with some kind of stereo widening from the doubler type, a spread harmonizer thing, the old Eventide trick.
There's a Bible on the shelf by a new pack of
In
cigarettes.
fact, I'm going to do it with the slap off.
There's a Bible on the shelf by a new pack of cigarettes. There's a photo on the fridge of a family that's perfect.
That's about right. You want to if you take it off, it's like, okay, something's missing, but if you can audibly hear it, it's too much. This is a real trial and error, get it right kind of thing. If you solo it up and you can hear it a little bit, then you're good. If you hear it, if it's like, oh, I really hear it, it's probably too much unless you're really going for some kind of a chorusing effect on some kind of a rock tune or pop tune or something.
There's a Bible on the shelf by a new pack of cigarettes.
Okay, let's put a little plate on her. This is the Lexicon 480 from Relab A plate.
There's a Bible on the shelf by a new pack of cigarettes. There's a Bible on the shelf by a new pack of cigarettes. There's a photo on the fridge of a family that's perfect, but the wall full of crosses in the dining room. They've heard every argument we got into. There's a Bible on the shelf by a new pack of cigarettes. Well, I didn't know I'd be more than the things you see, and it wasn't easy in the beginning getting to know me.
So what I would do if this was a real mix, because it's not, this is just for demonstration purposes, but what I would do is I would do something like this as my last step. I would do a continuous automation thing, and of course the band has no automation right now either. I'm going to give you the multi-tracks and let you mix it yourself. But let me just kind of give you a touch of a look into what I would do at this point. And I'm going to get that fader up on my control surface because I really want to, I try to use the mouse a lot on these videos because it's easier for you guys to follow me turning knobs and stuff. But day to day, I use my control surface as much as possible because I quite honestly don't like this. I don't like the mouse. So I love having a control surface. But when it comes to writing vocals, I just have to have it. So you won't be able to see a mouse, but just know my finger is right here.
There's a Bible on the shelf. There's a Bible on the shelf by a new pack of cigarettes. There's a Bible on the shelf by a new pack of cigarettes. There's a photo on the fridge of a family. There's a photo on the fridge of a family that's perfect, but the wall full of crosses in the dining room. They've heard every argument we got into. There's a Bible on the shelf by a new pack of cigarettes.
So what I'm going to do is, turn up some of these softer things and try to counteract when she really punches and pushes. It pushes. I mean, we need that. We need that energy from her pushing, but it's just too much for a modern mix without any other, without compression, automation, those kind of things.
Well, I didn't know I'd be more than the things you see, and it wasn't easy more than the things you see, and it wasn't easy in the beginning getting to know me. Sometimes I can't.
See that sometimes I just really jumps out too much.
Sometimes I
just gives you an idea of the kind of stuff I would do. Now, it would be a lot more fine-tuned. What I would actually do, let me just undo it, is put a, one pass of good automation, rewinding when I need to rewind to get it as close as possible. And then going with the mouse and really get even more fine-tuned. I'll just listen to it in real time and say, okay, this right here, the tail of this word needs to be brought up for emotion.
Bad and the growing,
Growing, that last syllable.
bad and the growing, but the laugh and the live.
And that right there punches a little too hard.
Bad and the growing, but the laugh and the live and the stories that can't be.
That word that drops out.
Stories that can't be. Stories that can't be sold. Stories that can't be sold.
That kind of a thing. I'm just going to really do that heavily at a low volume to where I know exactly what the volume is. You know what I mean? When you have the speakers low and you're listening and you can still hear every syllable of the vocalist, you'll know it's right when you turn it up. It's going to be easy to hear it when it's loud, but when you turn it way down and force yourself to really focus on that vocal and all that mid-range overlapping frequency, you're going to know exactly what you really have. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. I know I sure did. I've just forgotten how good of a singer she is. I need to bring her back in, ask her if she wants to cut something else, and that would multi-tracks could be donated for education. Because I know the last time I offered this multi-track, everyone went absolute nuts for her vocal. So I know everyone that's hearing her for the first time will go nuts as well and want more of Gloria Anderson. So thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate all likes, all good comments, and all subscribes. And until next time, happy mixing.